Hello, everybody. This is Alison, your host of the Greek Christian podcast, and we are here again with another Friday 15, which is so fun. I think this is one of the most fun things I get to do for my job in hosting this podcast is talk with students, just like you, Greek students from across the country every Friday. And so today on Friday 15, we have Payton joining us. Hello, Payton. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yes. And if you're listening to this, you can't see my Zoom background, but you can always go over to YouTube or Instagram and watch my video with Payton. But I have a beautiful college campus behind me. The sky is beautiful. It makes me think of the beauty of the Midwest. So Payton, tell us, where do you go to school?
I go to school at the University of Iowa.
Awesome. And what city is the University of Iowa in?
It's in Iowa City.
Very good. Awesome. And did you know you always want to go to the University of Iowa, or was it kind of like, oh, I had a couple choices and Iowa was best fit?
I mean, kind of. I knew that if I wanted to stay in state, I would go to Iowa just because of like my major and stuff. So, yeah.
Nice. What are you majoring in?
Speech and hearing science.
Oh, very cool. So you want to be a speech
Yeah.
language pathologist? Is that the plan?
I'm actually thinking audiology. So,
Oh, very cool.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Just a bit more school, but
hey,
yeah, I think I can handle it. I'll be fine.
Totally. Well, Payton, tell us some fast facts about you. So you're in school, Greek chapter, any other fast facts we should know?
Yeah. I'm a sophomore here at Iowa, and I'm in Delta Gamma, and I'm originally from Clive, Iowa, so it's like just a little less than 2 hours of a drive. So it's not far at all. So if I need to like run home quick or something, I can just get in the car and go.
Well, I know nothing about Iowa City, but what I
Yeah.
do know is that every fraternity and sorority member has got to have a favorite place that they like to eat with their brothers or sisters in their college town. So where's your favorite place to go in Iowa City with your sorority sisters?
I think Heirloom or Java House, it's like the same thing. Like Java House is like the coffee part, and then Heirloom is like the food. Heirloom has really good salads. So probably there.
Good to know. Sounds good.
Yes.
Well, you are a sophomore, so you haven't been in Greek life for too long, but you've been in Greek life long enough to make some great memories. So what has been your favorite memory or moment in Greek life so far?
I think just seeing like just like how welcoming all the upperclassmen are, has just been like so fun. Like just seeing them like around on campus, they'll always like be so friendly and just like wave and like act like you've been friends for like years. And that was before like we even like knew each other. And now that we know each other, it's like we have that connection like more on a personal level, but like they're still so like welcoming, and it's fun to just like meet other Greeks and just know that we have like that thing in common. So yeah.
It's like an unspoken bond.
Right. It really is.
Yeah. Nice. Well, let's talk a little bit about your faith background. So I'd love to hear, were you a Christian when you arrived at the University of Iowa? If you were, or if you are, what's that been like trying to figure out your faith in Greek life? If you weren't a Christian when you came to college, how did you connect with Christ in the Greek system?
Yeah, so I've been a Christian since I accepted Jesus in my heart in my bathtub when I was 7 years old. So I've grown up in a Christian home, and like church has always been something that's like the most important part of who I am. And just like being Greek and Christian has made me realize like what's really important to me, because like my first semester of my freshman year, I was very like Greeky, and I would like drink at parties and stuff and like do things that were just like off the path of like who I know that I really am. And so it's just made me realize like how like unfulfilling the world really is, and how much joy the Lord can bring like when you seek him first. So.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. I think a lot of people relate to that, where you come to college and you're on your own for the first time and you're making these
Mm-hmm.
decisions for the first time. And it really kind of presses you. You said like, it's the most important thing to me. And
Right.
it sounds like being Greek and Christian has really solidified what your values
Mm-hmm.
are, and actually
Mm-hmm.
helped you grow in your faith. Um,
For sure.
well, yeah, tell me a little bit about, as you've been intersecting your faith with Greek life, like what does it look like for you to be Greek and Christian?
Yeah. So I think um it's just like cool to see that we don't have to be perfect like on either end.
Hmm.
And we have like such a unique opportunity to be like fully submerged like in the world, but to be like of the word. And like by reaching the people like in the Greek community, we can bring like so many people to Jesus and like expose them to the good news of the gospel. And so I just think like through that, like you're just reaching like a whole different community that might seem like unreachable, but you're
Yeah.
like a part of it. So yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. What's been challenging for you about being Greek and Christian?
definitely like not falling into what everyone else is doing because it's easy to just like go along with the crowd, and if someone's like, here, take a shot, like okay, like, but
Right.
it's hard to like just
Mhm.
not do that when everyone else around you is.
Yeah.
And like I think that like it's our job to like be slow to judgment and
Mm.
just like come at everyone with the grace that we're given as well. Yeah.
That's powerful. I think that's such a good thing to say, because I feel like so many people who follow Jesus really struggle with being
Hmm.
judgmental,
Yeah.
or with forgetting the grace that they've been given. But that's
Hmm.
exactly what I think the world needs, is to receive that kind of grace, that we've been given, that we aren't perfect. That you even said
Yeah.
that I'm not a perfect Christian and I'm not
Hmm.
a perfect Greek person. And but
Hmm.
I
Right.
think there's a lot of freedom in that and knowing that.
Hmm.
Well, okay. I think you lead a Bible study in DG, is that
I
correct?
do. Yes,
That's
I sure
awesome. So
do.
will you share a little bit about that with me? Like, how did you decide to lead the Bible study, and what's it been
Hmm.
like leading in DG, leading a Bible study?
Yeah. So it was over the summer. Yeah, like this past summer, I knew that the leader was graduating. So I was like, well, shoot, like now, like we're not gonna have a Bible study. So I DM'd my leader, Olivia, on Instagram, and I was like, hey, um, I know, well, at this point, I was kind of involved in like a different ministry, but I still like wanted the Bible study within DG. And so I
Totally.
DM'd her and I was like, hey, like I don't want to see this like die out. Like I might be interested in leading. Like I've led Bible studies in the past and stuff, but like will you just tell me like more about this? And so like I grabbed coffee with her and then she had like an application ready. And then I was like, I just like filled it out. I'm like,
Wow.
well, I guess I'm leading. So it was it was something that God definitely put on my heart. And she told me that like she had prayed for someone to like step up, and then I DM'd her, and so that I was like, well, that's just like confirmation that like this is where I'm supposed to be. And I feel like just through that, like the relationships with the people that I've had have just grown on such a deeper level. And like I'm friends with like a lot more people than like I would have been. Like I'm friends with more people in like a different way, and
Yeah.
like I wouldn't have been able to
Mhm.
like make those connections if it weren't for like having that foundation of the Bible study.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that story of how clearly God was at work when
Hmm.
you had no idea.
Right, right,
And just the way
exactly.
that, your sister was praying for someone to take over the Bible study, and then
Hmm.
here's this DM. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
well, there are plenty of Greeks who are listening to this, and I'd love to hear, what advice or encouragement do you have for Greeks who are trying to grow in their faith in the Greek system?
Yeah, I think that like just kind of being aware of like who you're surrounding yourself with, because
Yeah.
like your friends should be like really respectful of what you're doing, and like they should be people who can like challenge you in your faith but not like steer you away from it. And so I think that's like really important to just kind of like look around and like see who's really in your corner and see who is really supporting you, because like there are so many supportive people out there, and you just
Yeah.
like it can be hard sometimes to um kind of like sift through who's like a good friend and who's not.
Mhm.
But I think just like prioritizing prayer in that, and like listening to your gut and what you feel is right, and like what God is telling you to do, and just kind of acting on that.
Hmm. Well, while you have the mic, I'd love to give you an opportunity to give any shout outs that you'd like to give.
Oh man. Ooh, definitely shout out to my leader Olivia, whose DMs I slid into. I would not be I would not be in this position if it weren't for her. She's amazing, and she always does a great job of leading us and keeping us all accountable and encouraging us. And I love her to death. So definitely big
I
shout out
love
to
it.
Olivia.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh, I wish I had what Payton had on her campus, or maybe, you do have Greek IB, but, you want to go a little bit deeper in your leadership. We want to help you do that. And you said it, Payton, you need to have support and you need to have community if you're going to if you're going to lead. And Greek IB wants to be there for you. And so, if you want someone to talk to or provide you with resources on how to grow in your faith in Greek life, all you have to do is go to greekiv.org and fill out the contact card, and we will get in touch with you. And make sure to like and subscribe to this podcast so you can keep hearing stories of other Greeks across the country who are also trying to figure out this whole weird, messy, and wonderful Greek and Christian thing. But Payton, thank you again so much for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, thank you, Allison.